pipes. And I look at the same time, I look at, you know, at Johnny Bones Jones, and I go, I wouldn't have done what he just did. I look at McGregor, and I go, you know what? He's got some little spark that I don't have.
He's got a flair.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a flair that McGregor has that's half of what he does. I mean, he's unbelievably talented. He's got ridiculous power, but there's also this flair about him. When he fucking walks in there, flinging his arms, and then he stands there in front of his opponent and goes like that. There's something about him.
Yeah.
The fucking audaciousness of his, you know, he's just so ridiculous.
But it really impressed me when he came back and beat Nate. That
fuck yeah.
really impressed. And I thought it was a very close fight. I actually, and I'll have to watch it again. I usually don't watch fights more than once, but I know it was very, very close.
Nate could have won that fight.
Yeah,
it could have been a decision for Nate.
Yeah, I thought so too, but it didn't. And even just as close as it was, I was impressed. And that was, I think, one of the most impressive feats I've seen as far as that mental game we're talking about.
Yeah.
To come back and say, you know what? I'm gonna do it this time.
That he even wanted to come back.
Yeah,
you know?
At 170 again. That was at 170, right?
Yeah,
the second fight was too.
Yes, it was. Yes,
impressive.
It was very impressive. You know, a lot of people don't know that he had a pretty bad staph infection just a few weeks before the first fight, and he was on some serious antibiotics, and that's one of the reasons why he was so drained. Like, people are like, oh, he gassed out. Like, if you've never taken antibiotics before, you don't know how fucking horrible it is on your gas tank. It's it's the weirdest thing ever. It's like you could be in great shape, you get on a run of antibiotics, and your body's just, you got a fucking thimble gas tank. There's nothing left. You got no energy. For whatever reason, you just can't push yourself through stuff. And I think that played a factor in that fight. And here's the thing about McGregor. You never heard a fucking peep about it.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for me talking about it, most people wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bad motherfucker. And I don't know. I mean, they said he signed the Floyd Mayweather deal.
Oh, really?
Yep, he signed.
When did that happen?
It happened yesterday.
No
he has signed. Floyd Mayweather has not signed. They're negotiating the
pure
Floyd Mayweather.
boxing?
Yep, pure boxing. Oof. Yeah, that's what I think. I'm like, people, look, I mean, maybe he's going to go full Bernard Hopkins, just fucking clinch and hit him in the clinch and tie him up and rough him up, and maybe that's the plan. Lean on his neck, you know, just fight dirty. Let him take points away. Who gives a shit? As long as you don't get disqualified. Don't, like, stand in the middle of the ring and try to fucking shuck and jive with him. But the other thing is, Floyd's not knocking a lot of people out.
Yeah.
You know? It's a good fight in terms of, like, to see what the fuck happens. Yeah.
How much money is that going to make?
He's going to make a fuck ton of money. He's going to make he estimated, I don't know if it's true, between $75 and $100 million.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Good on him.
And then who knows how much Floyd's going to make? Somewhere in that range too, maybe more, probably more. But I think that it's going to be interesting. First of all, Floyd's 40, almost 41. Floyd's maybe the best defensive boxer that's ever walked the face of the planet. I mean, he's right up there. You go back to Willie Pep and a lot of the guys from the old days, and for sure Lomachenko today. But in terms of, like, overall performance against elite fighters over the course of his career, the guy's only been tagged hard like 5 or 6 times ever. Yeah. He's a fucking freak, and hard work. I mean, you look at him, he's throwing money around and driving Bentleys, but that fucking guy will get on the strip and he'll be running miles at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. He opens up his gym at 3 o'clock in the morning, just does 15 rounds in the bag. He works hard.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if he works that hard anymore.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one.
Fuck yeah. I'll watch it.
I hope it goes down.
Look, he might get Conor might get his ass handed to him, but he might not.
Yeah.
You know, he might tag Floyd. I mean, if he can, Conor is very good at closing distance and snapping off, like, lead shots. Like, that's one of the things that he did with Nate. And he's a southpaw. If he can just snap off 1 or 2 clean shots and make it interesting, it'll be fun. I don't know if he can. Yeah. I don't know what he can do in straight boxing.
Yeah, it's so hard to judge.
Come on.
To judge without knowing, without seeing.
And if they do it, I think they're going to do it somewhere around September. I think that's the idea.
Dang.
Jesus Christ.
So what's he doing with the UFC until then?
Nothing. So the lightweight division is on hostage right now. They're being held hostage.
Is it like interim something or whatever?
Well, they were supposed to do that, but fucking Khabib Nurmagomedov got sick trying to make the weight and didn't make the weight.
What happened there?
Tony Ferguson and Khabib were supposed to fight, and Khabib's liver shut down. Yeah, he's cutting too much weight. These guys, they get too fucking big. You know, they get up to 190 and they try to get down to 155, and he couldn't make it.
Was he walking around at 190?
I don't know. That's what I heard. I don't know what he really weighed, but he's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure.
Khabib's grappling is so super high level. I wanted to see that fight so bad because Tony Ferguson is a fucking savage.
Yeah.
He's a straight savage. So him versus Habib, like I watched that fight with him and Edson Barboza again the other day.
Yeah.
Crazy fucking wild bloodbath until Tony caught him with the Darce.
Yeah.
It was a fucking amazing fight. Like that's the guy I want to see fight, a guy who's one of the only guys undefeated at the top level of the game, which is Habib. He's the only guy that's like a top contender that's undefeated and has smashed everybody in front of him.
How much longer until he can fight again?
Who knows if he'll ever be able to make 155 again? Who knows what kind of damage he's done to his body in these rapid, horrible weight cuts? I don't know, man. I don't know his medical history or his medical issues, but I know before the Michael Johnson fight, apparently he had a similar problem. He made the weight, but apparently it was real touch and go. Yeah.
Can't do that.
No, you got to cut your calories back.
Can't do that.
You want to suffer? Cut your calories back. Do a lot of fucking running. Drop some body weight. You're going to have to, and it can be done. It can be done. You're going to have to do it because this rapid dehydration, you're going to fucking die.
Yeah.
Someone's going to die. I mean, the UFC's just passed some new weight cutting rules.
And new weight classes, too.
Yeah.
Like,
This is from Andy Foster. Andy Foster is the guy who runs California State Athletic Commission, and he is such a fucking animal. Andy Foster